Hello everybody. How are you guys doing today? Welcome in everybody. And happy Tuesday, Wandering Picked. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. We are going to jump in and get started. If you hear voices in the background, just ignore it. So yeah, let's figure some things out. A lot to paint today. Hey Yoshi, what's going on? So we got some Leagues of Votann to paint. I have Sagittar, about, I don't know, 20-ish other minis, 20, 25 other minis, infantry. So we're going to start working on those. The first thing we're going to do is put our bone down. Most of these minis are base coated with a different color, so I base coat the vehicle with silver, mainly because all these under parts stay silver. So it's easiest if I paint the panels after I put the silver base coat on. So we have that. We have a lot of dwarf infantry. I base coated orange because the cloth is orange, and I can paint the armor. They don't have quite as much armor as some of the other soldiers. I do have this like limited edition mini here. We put bone as a base color on this one because there's a lot of bone armor, so we don't have to worry about the coat on this mini. We have floating robots here. The floating robots I did bone as well, so we'll be putting accent colors on those too. Sir Stroming Fish, welcome in. How are you doing? We have these guys who I also base coated orange because they have orange cloth underneath everything. These guys are going to be a challenge to paint, but we'll get them. We'll get there. So yeah, they'll need a lot of bone on them as well. A lot of silver on these guys. And then we also have two of the dwarf Gandalfs. One I base coated red, and the other one I base coated orange. So we're just going to keep their colors a little bit different. But yeah, we'll get into. They don't have a lot of bone color on them, so we'll get into that though as we move. I need to real quick before I get started on the colors. How are you guys doing? You guys doing well? Hope you're doing well. I think the last time I painted these Votann, there's some of the stuff. Let's see. Last time I painted these Votann was in January. I worked on some more before that. So I'm going to pull up a couple pictures of what I've painted, so I have a bit of a guide. Did Berserkers, when was that? September of last year. Yeah, my work. Hey, Votann, what's up? Frankie Fingers, PNG not JPEG, welcome. I had Blood Angels on the desk. Okay, yeah, it's been a while since I painted any Blood Angels. Yeah. Stayed over on it. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's annoying. Sorry to hear that, Wandering Picked. Hopefully, not too stressful. I know in the US was a holiday weekend. I had a very busy weekend. Extremely busy weekend. My family and I are exhausted just from too much non-stop socializing all weekend, but it was a lot of fun. It was a really good weekend. I do have some stories I want to share with you guys, just about random things that happened this weekend, and I have more stories I want to share with the Patreon hangouts. So you guys would appreciate. But yeah, it's doing well. We're painting Votann. I am also in the background trying to finish up the the laser batteries I was working on, the Heresy minis that I had started on. So trying to finish those because I have a game on Sunday and I decided to field those to give me motivation to finish them. So just have a bunch of highlights to do. That's it. But I'm going to try to get a couple colors done this evening. And yeah, just keep moving on them. I printed base toppers for them, so their bases are actually primed and ready when I'm ready, so that'll be good. I also, I'll show you this. I'll show you guys this real quick. I have a bucket here, a container of printed base toppers that match my Thousand Suns. These are the bases I need, the base toppers I need for the Heresy starter set. So I have all the base toppers printed out. My goal, if I can have a goal here with this, is to have all of these. I have to sand the bottoms of all of them, which will take some time, be kind of annoying, but have all these base toppers sand glued to bases. I have tons of spare bases glued to bases and painted before the set releases on the 26th. So if I can have all of these done, what'll be great about that is I can take all the minis that I get from the set, I can assemble them, I can paint them, and then they can just go right on their bases. And it's just really, it cuts out, hours worth of work after the set comes out. So my plan is to have that stuff done and ready for when the box comes out, to kind of have things ready just to go when I get the set. Yeah, I'm really excited. Since we know the base sizes for everything. My big disappointment with this edition is rules haven't leaked quite as early as they have in previous editions, so it's a little bit of a disappointment, but it's okay. I figure Saturday, is probably the latest we'll be waiting, unless there's some kind of crazy shenanigans where GW's not letting people release like Libra rules or something on Saturday, but it should be the embargo should be lifted on Saturday, so we'll get battle reports and Man Reads book and all that kind of stuff, or Lady Reads book. I don't know if there is a content creator that reads the rulebooks out or goes through the rulebooks like that. It's not for Heresy, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. It'll be good. I think a lot of my Saturday will be spent reading books. Votann look cool. I'm not a fan of playing against an army that just ignores cover on everything, gets free rerolls. Is that how they play anymore? Yeah, that's fair. I thought ignores cover and free rerolls were like every army in 40k at this point. Just rerolls everywhere. Rerolls are good. That's the thing. When you can manipulate your dice, it ends up being always a very powerful mechanic in every single game it's in. But all they got gutted. Yeah. Votann might be getting something cool. Well, we have there's a big announcement stream. Is that next Friday? Big summer preview thing from Games Workshop. So there could be some Votann getting announced there. I would say if we're talking 40k stuff, if it really is something big, I would say the three things that are getting previewed or announced are the new Space Marine Codex that's been rumored. So it's second 10th edition Codex for Space Marines. Dark Eldar or Drukhari and Votann, because those are the last two codexes, right, that haven't been announced or anything. I think they'll just do their announcements and hopefully get them all out by the end of the year. Yeah, Chaos Dwarves for Age of Sigmar are going to get announced. And hopefully those models are usable in the old world. I have hope. The old world friends. Yeah, I am so far out of 40K. Like, I have no idea what to expect, or like what would be good, or what I want to see with Dark Eldar. I mean, I hope they get more than a character. More than a character in like the one squad that's updates from resin to plastic. Like, that's been the standard for the past like 6 editions or 5 editions for Drukhari. So I hope they get more, but I don't have high hopes for it. Dude, 10th sisters get Eldars get, yeah. I mean, don't Space Marines? That's like their whole army mechanic is just rerolls. Yeah, rerolls are like a pretty standard thing in 40K. It's one of the army wood plus one. Yeah. The range refresh. I don't think a lot of the Drukhari need a range refresh. I still think their miniatures look incredible. I still think they're one of the better looking miniature lines. I would like them to add some cool units, because Dark Eldar have not had a single new unit added since 5th edition. That was the last time they got a new unit. Every edition afterwards has been a tiny update from resin to plastic, and that's it. With the characters they nixed, yeah. They nixed those 5 editions ago too, Vaughn. Those were 5th edition characters. Well, I guess 7th, right? It was the 7th codex. They took them out or whatever, because I don't think Drukhari or Dark Eldar got a 6th edition codex. So yeah, I guess they got rid of them 3 editions ago. Still, yeah, I want my Duke Sliskus and Baron Sathanix back and stuff like that. Yeah, Lady Malice. Well, Lady Malice is coming. Her mini already leaked. So she's definitely coming in the new codex, but we'll see. Yeah, I would like to see Vect on a Tantalus mini. Like, give us a plastic Tantalus and give it an option to have Vect on it. That would be great. Because I want a Tantalus, and I would almost be okay to pay the Forge World prices, because as far as Forge World minis go, it's not too bad. It's $180, which is, that's as much as a Knight cost. But making that in plastic and giving it actual like rule support would be really cool. Yeah, the Dice of Destruction. When Xeno armies get a mechanic Space Marines have, Marine players get very salty. That's true. Yeah. I am so pumped for New Heresy. I do have at least one more game of 2.0 though, and scheduled a game with a good friend. He's gonna be playing as Blood Angels. And originally, I was kind of half joking and asked if he wanted to play like a sweaty, like, cheese game of 40K just to see, because he's a really good player, and I know he knows how to play well and how to build crazy army lists and stuff. And so I was like, it might be fun just to try it once. But I don't think we ended up taking cheese lists anyway. So I didn't have the heart to like bring 10 las cannon heavy weapon teams and augury scanners on everything, and like that's just not how I play. It's unless we like explicitly say like, hey, let's do this. And then we're set up a Dark Angels list. Oh, cool. All right. Is the line like really good? Is he kind of like a standard? Oh, the Beastmaster stuff would be great, man. Plastic Beastmaster stuff, the Court of the Archon, Grotesques, those all need plastic minis anyway. Yo, Raptor, welcome in. Yeah, guys, I want to tell you about a wedding we went to on, it was Sunday, not yesterday, it was Sunday. I got a fun story with the painting son at this wedding. Yeah, the Slith, yep, the snake guy. The poison lady, the snake guy, the Urgol, the little, like, ghoul, and then the Medusae, the eyeball. It's the brain slugs from Futurama, that's what I think of. You know, like the political parties, and there's like the I can't remember what they're called, but yeah. So we went to a wedding, and it was my niece's wedding, and hey, Crucial Blue, welcome in, man. Thank you for the sub. Almost 2 years. Wild. Oh, you did painting? Ear Raptors painting again. Alright, sweet. How you feeling? You feeling alright? Painting? You able to see things okay? Or is it still difficult? Yeah, probably a good call doing just some like overbrushing, right? So, went to a wedding. And, it was an afternoon wedding, so, they're partying through the evening and stuff, and they're like, all right, we brought painting son with us because he was actually in the wedding. He was the ring bearer for the wedding, so I was calling him Samwise Gamgee all weekend. But yeah, he was the ring bearer, and yeah, we went to the rehearsal Saturday. We did that. It was great, and then Sunday. At the wedding was fantastic. It was like 90 plus degrees Fahrenheit. It's very hot out. It was an outdoor wedding, and the reception was like under like a canopy basically, so it was like not air conditioned or anything, so it was hot, very hot. Train's not too bad. Mini's still a bit too small. Yeah, okay, cost too much energy. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, hey, recovery, that's what it's about, right? You're getting there. You got something, and that's great. Hey, Misfit, good morning. Good morning. How are you? So, reception. All right, I was really excited about the reception. One of the reasons was they had like Mediterranean food catered for their reception. I don't think either of their families are like. Well, I know my wife's family. No one is like of Mediterranean descent or anything, but I think they just love that restaurant they had caters. So yeah, they had awesome food, and yeah, it was great. I was all excited about that, but painting son. Getting back to the painting son here. We're getting the reception area, and I was asking painting son, like, hey man, like you gonna dance? You gonna party it up? This kid loves to dance. He's always dancing. Like he is the wildest kid, and I don't know where he gets it because neither me nor my wife are like crazy like this. We're very introverted. We'll dance like some slow songs with each other or whatever, but otherwise, like, we're not big, like, partiers or anything. Painting son is always dancing. That's what this kid does. He's loud and he dances and he talks and he never stops and all these things. Well, we're asking if he was going to dance, and he was like, no, I don't want to dance. We're like, well, would you dance with mom? No, I don't want to dance with mom. Like, would you dance with dad? No. What if someone asked you to dance? No. Okay, whatever. They start playing music, and he won't dance, and we're trying to get him to go dance. Well, there was the flower girl who's a few years older than him. She comes up and asks my son if he would go dance with her, and he says no. And I'm like, dude, come on, dude, seriously, like, girl's asking you to dance, like, go dance with her, And he's like, no. So a few minutes later, I talk with him. I'm like, all right, here's what's going to happen. Me and your mom are going to go dance. and then you're gonna go ask the flower girl to dance. Okay, and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna have fun. Yeah, exactly. Right, right. Like you don't do that, right? So, yeah, and the two of them too were like they were already like friends. Like he met her during their rehearsal, and they immediately were just like talking the whole time to each other and everything. And she comes up to him and asks him to dance. Says no. So I told him like you're gonna go ask her to dance. You're gonna go dance. You're gonna have fun. So he was like, okay. So he goes and asks her to dance, and he actually does. And they go out to the start to dance. It was so funny. He went out there and was just like standing next to her, and he started just like doing the robot. And I was like, this kid, oh my gosh. So he dances a little bit, and then one of his aunts comes over, and she like is like kind of dancing with him and stuff. Well, he just starts going nuts with his dancing. Like this this kid, he starts going crazy. He's like moving and just like doing all these like crazy dance moves. There's not really much coordination to it because he's 8 years old, but he's doing all kinds of crazy dance stuff. Well, he starts doing this. Well, the like bridal party and all the like the young people saw him dancing, so they started like they were like forming like a circle around him and like cheering him on, and he's just going nuts and everything. Well, kid's never been to like a wedding. He hasn't been to a wedding since he was like 2 years old, so like he doesn't remember like being in a setting like this. So I think he instantly got embarrassed and he just like walked off. And we're like, okay, like, all right. Well, he's like, I need a break. He's like, I don't like it when they're around me. I was like, dude, they're cheering you on. Like, they're excited you're dancing and everything. And he's like, okay, all right. So he goes back out there and dances, and he like jumps right in the middle of the group and just starts dancing, and everybody just starts like freaking out because he's also probably the youngest kid there that wasn't like a baby. So, he was, yeah. So he's going all kinds of tension. People are just like cheering him on and all this stuff. This kid ended up dancing almost nonstop for like 4 hours, just doing whatever moves that he was like thinking of in the moment. And that is what he did all evening, was just the craziest dances. And my wife and I were like, what? Like, man, this kid is crazy. Yeah, it was really funny, but also like he had such a blast. And he ended up requesting a song. So the DJ was taking requests, and it was really nice and everything. And he got to my son's request, and he requested The Craving by 21 Pilots. So we really love 21 Pilots, and my son loves them as well. But he requested that song, and I'm like, man, I don't know if that's like a good like wedding party song, But I know all the groomsmen there. They're like, I don't know them, but they were all like big 21 Pilots fans, so they were listening. I think the groom bought all of his groomsmen vinyl for like their gift, and one of them was playing the Vessels album from 21 Pilots on vinyl, like while they're hanging out before the wedding. I was like, sweet. But anyway, so he requested newer 21 Pilots song, and the DJ announced it. He's like, yeah, where's the ring bearer? He's like, yeah, ring bearer thought this would be a great song to keep the party going. And it was one of the last songs they played, and it was and he's like, yeah, it's The Craving. And everybody started going nuts, and so it was him and the groom just like dancing to The Craving, and everybody is like, like cheering him on and stuff. But this kid was in his element. It was wild to see. Not in a million years could you get me to get in front of people to dance like that. Especially not when I was a kid. Yeah, yeah, it was great. So, he was dancing with different people. He was dancing with with the bride, and yeah, just living it up. He was having fun. Just follow my lead, yeah. What is your lead? So, what he said toward the end of the party. Oh, and since this was at it's like a weird like private like event park slash farm thing. I have this dance. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I was. Yeah, no, don't you dare. No, I was dancing with a painting wife, and painting some was like, he was like, I'm out there dancing. You gotta be dancing too, and so he was like trying to drag me out there. So we were kind of dancing with him and stuff, but I just wasn't going as crazy as he was. But they had animals there, so they had like horses and they had some donkeys and goats and stuff that were just kind of like off to the side. So we were going out and he was like feeding the animals and yeah, doing just all kinds of stuff. That was a lot of fun. And he told me at one point during the day, he's like, this is the best day ever. He's like, this is better than the water park. I'm like, all right, sweet. Oh yeah, no, we danced the Cotton Eye Joe. I never knew the Cotton Eye Joe like line dance thing, but I kind of tried to figure it out during the when they were playing it, so I was dancing with them. And all right, a whole other moment was last week. We were talking to my son just about random music things. We were like eating dinner or something, and we told him about the Macarena. So some of the younger people might not understand the history of the Macarena and how like crazy that song was, as far as like everybody danced to the Macarena. That's just what happened. And so we were explaining to my son like just how like you would go to like a public event where you were, and they would start playing the Macarena. Everybody just line up and start dancing to it. Like the 90s were a wild time. I don't understand. But my wife mentioned it to the bride, and she said, "Yeah, we're gonna be playing the Macarena at the reception." We're like, "Sweet." But anyway, we were explaining this to my son last week, and we end up crashing a lot more weddings. Yeah. I think we might just have to start going to weddings, just start crashing them. Yeah. Just going to party.
All, let me take just a
hey,
moment to
Gork Elios, welcome. Welcome in. So yeah, we were showing him though that evening. We were telling about the Macarena, and so me and my wife, we just started playing the song, and we just got up and started dancing it like it's like muscle memory, So he was so embarrassed. So he's like, "Stop!" It's just us in the house, and this kid was like, he was embarrassed by us, but they played it at the wedding, and we were dancing it. It was a weird version of the Macarena, though. Wasn't my favorite version, but we definitely did dance the Macarena, and yeah, all that stuff. It's crazy. Yes, Spaced Wars. What's up, Mechius Tech? Oh no, that's a thing, man. There's plenty of what's the other one? The big ones like Cotton Eye Joe has a line dance. There's the Macarena. There's that one. Oh, where am I looking? I can't remember the other one. Okay, and whips, yeah. 1 second. I'll jump into whips. There's another really big popular one that people dance to here. I think I do think dancing in at a party in Europe is much different than it. Not the boot scoot boogie. No, not the country song. Is it something slide? What is that? Not the electric slide. I guess the electric slide that's a line dance, right? No, but not that one. Dang it, I can't remember it. Oh well. The Cupid Shuffle. No. Scoot and Boogie. Oh my goodness, I haven't heard that song since I was a kid. The what? Man, you guys you're just making up things. The Cha Cha Slide. That's what it is. Thank you, Sarah Elizabeth. Thank you. There we go. Someone cultured, I guess. It is no, it's different than the electric slide. The electric slide's different than the cha-cha slide. Should have just painted this bone. Yeah, the one hop this time. Yep, that song. Yep.
Look at me!
Alright, where am I looking? I'll do a couple. Do a couple here. Whip as well. Okay, alright. Wandering Picked and Crucial Blue got some stuff in whips we're gonna take a look at. Yeah. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, we were partying, guys. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun wedding. So, yep. And I requested a song. The DJ, and it was the song my wife and I it was our first dance at our wedding, and the DJ had never heard of it, which I understand because it's not like it was on the radio and stuff back in the day, but it's not like a super popular song or band. And yeah, he played it, and my wife and I were the only ones dancing to it, but I was like, that's cool, I'll be the one person to dance to it. So it was awesome. I was super happy. What song? All right, the song is called Tired of You by the Exies. So, anybody remembers the Exies? The Exies were a band, yeah, it's called Tired of You, which is a funny title for, like, what the song's about. But they had a song called Ugly that was really popular, and then Tired of You, both of those were, like, their two songs that were on the radio. Other than that, they never had anything on the radio, but they were definitely, like, a modern rock or whatever. I don't even know what that's called. All right. Wandering Pick, always painting some, I was going to call them Sekhmet, but no, Scarab Occult Terminators. Nice. Nice. I like that blue color. Is that just like Aramon blue? What color blue is that? Wandering Picked. Looking good, though. Details on the cape are nice. Starting off with the orange. It's good. Good. The classic blue, gold, and yellow. It's solid. Yeah, blue every time. Every time when everybody clapped their hands, it's like, yeah, it's, oh, it's Sotek green. Oh, okay, okay. Nice. Well, that's a good color. Good base colors going, looking really nice. And blue. Wow, you painted that Mimic just last night? Is that what you were working on? Is that your giveaway? Is that the mini you're giving away? It's looking really good. It's a cool mini. Is that a Reaper? Like a Bones mini? And then the bust is looking crazy. Man, you put a lot of work into that mini. That's looking fantastic. Oh, it's a print from somewhere. Yeah, okay. Dang. Great work, guys. Really good work. Yeah, go check out the whips. You got Wandering Picked and Crucial Blue. Yeah, you're definitely doing it justice. It's looking really good. What should you do if I requested the Tra La La song by Gunther when we get married? I'm scared. I don't know if I'm familiar with that song. Instant annulment. Okay, so I'm not gonna bother listening to it. I don't need that. I need something ridiculous stuck in my head. I get enough weird songs stuck in my head. Stay ignorant, stay innocent. All right, I won't. Hey, T-Slayer, what's up? Lou does not stream in European times. I mean, he does. Well, you're still on around the time you would be waking up. So, 6-foot squirrel, welcome in. How are you doing? Okay, I think we'll go with that for that weapon. Let's get the next one. It's like laser cannon, whatever this is. Nothing much. All right. So I made a. I'm gonna switch gears here. Made a Horus Heresy army list. We'll be playing this Sunday. And the one piece of knowledge I had going into this was I was going to be fighting against Deep Strike Blood Angels. 5 takes precedence. Yeah. Finally starting your Votann painting journey. Oh, cool. All right. What are you starting with? This is a commission, and I have painted lots of these minis for this particular commission before, but this is kind of the next step of it. I don't know if there's much more that he has that he wants me to paint, but I'm sure whenever new minis come out, he might send me some more stuff. So, playing against the Blood Angels player this coming Sunday. And I wanted to... Dark Angels tonight for the second time. Oh, cool. All right. Hey, just in time for 11th to come out, right? Yeah, I would say, guys, if you are... if you like hanging out my stream, like the kind of vibe that my stream has, where we just kind of chill and, you know, paint minis and stuff, Crucial, you'll get along just fine in Crucial Blue's stream. He listens to way better music than I do, though, so that's a big difference. But a very, very chill stream, hangs out, just kind of chats. It's great, great to listen to while you hobby and hang out and stuff. So, Xenos kick all of 10th, yeah, Xenos are the way to go. Yeah, at the risk of offending others, Crucial Blue is like, it's definitely my most watched Twitch streamer. And I'm not on Twitch to watch things often, but I try to make it a point to get on and hang out in Blue streams when I can, because it's always a great time. So. I am honored. Yeah. Honor's all mine. All right, so here's what I'm bringing. I don't know, Zane, if you have opinions on my list, you tell me. But I knew I was fighting against. At least you could do getting me hooked on Pro. Yeah, he also needs follows. Get him follows so he can become a monumental and make literal dozens of dollars a year, promoting Monuments products. That'll be cool. He's trying to get his follows up. And he deserves it too. Definitely deserves it. He's a great streamer. It's you'll understand. You'll understand eventually. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do these, like, the casings different colors. And, you know, I need to look this up.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back
I gotta
into your
scroll
home.
back through all my pictures. Hey, thank you for the follow. Reginald Grimsby. Hey, I saw you just jumped in the Discord, too. Welcome in. Okay, not that one. Oh, my goodness. I have painted so many of this guy's Votann. Let's see, where are they? I think there's... I know I've painted... No, are these... There's no way these are the first ones of these I've painted for this guy. It's one Sagittar. I thought I've painted 2 other Sagittars for him. Need to organize my photos a little better. Okay, it was all the bikes. And there was a bunch of characters. Okay, and then we had... What next? Berserkers. Oh, there they are. Okay, okay. Cool, I have frame of reference here. Alright, so we don't have to make the weapons different. That works. Alright, easy enough. I did paint 2 Hecaton land fortresses, but I also painted 2 Sagittars. I remember I did one with a lot of like red paneling, one with a lot of orange. So I don't know if we'll change this one up, and we'll see if we do something different on it. Posted most recent progress in the Discord. I will happily go take a look. Yeah. Yeah, I have a fun story to share for Patreon tomorrow. It's not something I'm going to share on the regular stream, but relating to my weekend. But yeah, so it was a good weekend. So okay, this list I'm preparing for Blood Angels Deep Strike, and I'm like, all right. Now, one thing I didn't want to do was just push like a cheat code button and just take like, you know, my las cannon heavy support squad, give them an augury scanner so they just intercept the deep strike squads and they come in and just instant kill a bunch of units. And then I'm just like, you know, like, ha, there goes your 500 point squad with my 300 point heavy support squad and you can't charge me, blah, blah, blah. All that. Didn't want to do that. I wanted to have like some semblance of a game, and I wanted him to have his rule. That said, I did take a couple anti-deep strike stuff, and they're things that I have taken in like kind of all around lists anyway. And one of those being a guy called a Master of Signals, who is a Centurion character, so he's like a lieutenant level character, and his whole job is like logistical stuff. So all it does is basically he's going to deep strike, and when he deep strikes, he gets to pick his turn and his location, doesn't scatter, no negative effects, but he has to roll it. Whenever you deep strike, you roll a d6. On a roll of a 1, you're disordered, and I get to pick the location where the other units deploy. The Master of Signals turns that into a 1, 2, or 3. So it becomes a 50-50 on whether his deep strike becomes disordered. And that's the whole thing. So that's like his big rule. And so 50-50, like, I'm okay if it happens, I'm okay if it doesn't. I've played against this guy 3 or 4 games, and I've never taken anything like this against him, so he hasn't ever disordered a charge or a deep strike against me, so I'm okay if it happens once. The other big thing that this character has is an augury scanner, which just comes like native on him. And he has a Nuncio Vox, another good piece of equipment. But the augury scanner, basically, the squad he's with gets to do an intercept reaction for free. And intercept is a reaction that you use when a unit deep strikes or comes in from reserve. And you essentially just get to shoot at them for free. Get free shots at them. So I'm going to put him in a big chunky tactical squad. And they are going to take a nice like triple tap shot at a unit that deep strikes on me. And that's essentially what he's going to do. And he might die after that. But throw in, you know, it's going to be like 45 bolter shots at anything is going to kill a lot of models and hopefully force some morale things. But that's going to be his purpose. I took my kind of like standard warlord trait thing, and the standard warlord trait gives me another movement phase reaction, which gives me another augury or another intercept reaction. So I'm going to have at least 3 intercepts, which are going to be like the most important thing for me. Oh, sorry, I'll move it over here. There we go. Thank you. So, making sure I'm able to kill stuff before it kills me, because he's gonna be getting crazy charges So I need to make sure I minimize that and make use of like some of the stuff that I have. I did take a couple of interesting things. So I'm taking my rapier batteries that I'm still trying to finish up painting, and I decided to take not the laser destroyers, but I am fielding them as the quad mortars. And the quad mortars, what happens is you pay for the quad mortars and then you pick the type of ammunition that they get. And so the type of ammunition I'm giving them is, I think it's called splinter shells, and they cause pinning, which is really cool. They're also rending, so they have I only wound on a 6 against Marines, but if I get a 6 to wound, it causes a wound, and then they pin, and there's like leadership tests they have to take, and crazy stuff like that. So yeah, I'm hoping to mess around with pinning. I took a lot of psychers. I have 5 full psychers, which might be the most I have brought ever in a battle, so it could be very risky. But bringing full-blooded psychers is cool. One of my plans, since I brought some tanks, my warlord is he is a member of the Raptora, but his psychic discipline is telekinesis. And the telekinesis psyker, their powers are a telekine dome, so he puts up a big force field around him. And it's just against shooting is how it works, but I am going to listen to Windrose while painting. Oh man, yeah, Windrose is great. It's a great band. I haven't listened to them in a little while, but I'm hoping what I can do is my warlord will sit in the middle of the formation and put out a force field bubble like the Gungans in episode 1. And anything he tries to shoot at me will bounce, at least off my vehicles and stuff. I'll have a better chance of bouncing shots to help things survive. So yeah, I do that. I have a what else? He is in a Terminator squad that can be full psychers, and I gave the Terminators pyromancy, so they're gonna be throwing fireballs at people. I have a psychic dreadnought, and the psychic dreadnought is a telepath, and telepaths are that's just a brown backpack. Yeah, it's not like an armored backpack, is it? No, it's not. Telepaths are the ones that just like pin squads, basically, like almost auto pin squads. So I have them. I think either my Master of Signals or I have a Chaplain that's a telepath. I can't remember which one, but I have 2 telepaths, which is a lot for me. But again, he's gonna be deep striking on me. I need some stuff. What else? Yeah, Psychic Dreadnought. I have the Quad Mortars. I have a couple Terminators. 5 total Psychers, which is a lot. I have 3 big squads of Tactical Marines. They're 15 Tactical Marines each. And I put an Apothecary with all of them. So they're super tough. And Zendral knows about the Apothecaries and the Tactical Marines. How crazy those can get. I don't feel as bad about that because he took assault squads. He took 3 15-man assault squads and put Apothecaries with all of them. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just be like running into each other. It'll be like a wet noodle fight or something. Yeah, I took my Leviathan Dreadnought, which I'm really excited to field. Should be a big bully. I'm hoping it is, at least. I have a specific squad that it needs to go kill, which are called Dawnbreakers. And if he can get into those, he'd be really good at messing them up and killing them. So that's going to be his goal, is to get into the Dawnbreakers. And I took some tanks. I did take the Xiphon because I had the points. And it's hard to find just like 100 points of something. So I took my jet. And I took my 2 Sicarans, and then I took my Sicaran Venator, which is like my big like anti-tank Sicaran. So it's got my big anti-tank gun, so hopefully it's able to kill some stuff. Yeah, the mech rules had some good teases. Yeah, they talked about a lot of different stuff, which was good. Working on the Gimli Legolas on a horse. That's a great model. That's cool you got a hold of that mini, though. I feel like that's not a... I don't know if that's up for regular sale, but that's not a... That's always been a pretty rare mini. Yeah, I thought about bringing like a big like Death Star tank or big Death Star unit, but I don't want to do that. I feel like I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket, so I take a bunch of different things. Did I mention I took a rotor cannon squad? My little Gatling gun squad. I like those guys. They're just carrying miniguns, and they can also pin. Picked up on made to order. Oh, cool. Very cool. I've never done a made to order from GW. I was tempted one time, and it was when they released the old metal Lord of the Rings orcs on made to order, and they had that whole set of like all 20 of the different sculpts for, it was like $60 or something, and I was tempted, but I was like, no, I don't need to spend $60 right now on stuff, so I'm not gonna get it. I didn't. It's probably for the best. Yeah, Cultured American, as soon as I start seeing leaks for like Liber rules or like extra things like coming out, as you know, before Saturday, I'll start posting them up in the Discord, but there hasn't been anything leaked yet. And by Saturday, what's going to happen is you're going to have like Guerrilla Miniature Games and SN Studios or SN Battle Reports. They're all just going to post all the rules online anyway. So, you know, things aren't out before Saturday, and that's kind of about it. What are your thoughts on the Ogre and Auxilia minis? They look awesome. They're going to get plastic soon. I would not recommend buying the Forge World resin if you're okay to wait a couple months. I imagine within like the next... I'd say before the end of the year they'll probably be out. I think they'll do another Auxilia and Mechanicum wave of plastic minis. And those Ogre are like the top of the list, especially since they're on the cover of the book. You can't wait? No, I mean, they're great minis. If you want them and you're fine to work with the resin and it's not a problem paying for those, then yeah. I think they're awesome, though. Yeah, they're called Sharonite Ogre. They're like... It's like a grimdark horror story, how those things exist. They like lobotomize Ogrins and like shove a bunch. They like chop off their hands and put weapons on the ends of them and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. Wait, I just can't wait. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, the Auxilia as they exist need like 4 or 5 more sets, and then they're just complete. Like there's nothing else needed for them in their present state, which I'm sure GW will come out with new units for them and stuff, but yeah, they need the Ogrins, they need their Carnodons and Aurochses, which are like their Rhino Predator equivalents. They need the Rapier batteries. I guess they need the Tarantulas, or maybe the Tarantulas work from the other set with them. They might do another big box. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did another big box for Auxilia. They tend to do that when they release like waves, right? They need a new Velatari box, the elite troops. They need a second box for those with their other 2 weapon options. Or some kind of upgrade set for those. Let's see what Zone Mortalis rules look like before starting Heresy. Yeah. Yeah, Zone Mortalis has always been a lot of fun. But they say like November, Zone Mortalis rules will come out for free for everybody. So it'll just be a PDF. So that's nice. At least you're not having to pay like buy, you know, quote unquote buy a campaign book for it. Yeah, I bought one of the big Solar Ox boxes when they came out, and I got one. Every other person I know who got into Solar Auxilia bought 3 of them. Because they were a great deal. I hope Dracosans are better, because the Dracosans were horrible in 2nd edition. And it's kind of sad they put them in that box, because they're like the big ticket item in that box. But they were massively overpriced for what they were, so I hope the rules for Solar Ox got a little more balanced out. Yeah, the Dracosan's a really cool mini. Do I buy Titan from Imperialis and run as a 40k Dread? I mean, if you really want. Yeah, the Rapiers are way cooler than Dracosan. I understand that. The Dracosan looks great on the table. It's just a weird... yeah, it's kind of like it's weird. It's a weird fit into the army anyway, with how the army plays. Especially when the army has... they have Aurochs, which are basically just a Rhino. Which fit kind of their style a lot better. A giant chunky transport holding 20 minis. I don't know. And maybe, you know, with the new rules, with the vehicles being more durable and stuff, like, it might be a lot of a different story. Where it, like, won't get one shot, you know, or something like that, but... You know, Blue, I was in the same boat as you. Like, a year or 2 ago. I was like, man, I really want a Reaver Titan. Like a dream mini of mine. I was like, man, they have it for Imperialis. I can just buy an 8mm scale Reaver Titan. And then I can paint that. And that'd be cool. And then I saw the price for it, and I was like, I'm not paying this for a tiny Reaver Titan. I mean, it's like no more than like a lot of 40k minis, but it just seemed excessive for what it was. I know they're big and everything too, but nah, I don't want to pay $60 just to paint a little Titan to have. I'll paint something I can use instead. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm not usually one just to buy, like, just cuz mini, though. Like, that's just me. I know a lot of people do, so that's fair. If that's you and you wanna buy it, then by all means. Six-foot squirrel with they have the Votann. All right. I like the blue and gray color scheme on the Votann. It's a great color scheme. And the bases look really good. Are those GW bases, or those look like homemade? Those are zip ties and like a mesh or something, right? Just because minis of my friends gave me the army box of Thousand Suns, a graduation gift. Okay, okay, that's why you're painting those. Nice. Yeah, that is not a bad deal, honestly. Very nice of your friend. I printed my son some more Space Marines. He finished up last night. He wanted a squad of flamethrowers. So we're painting, or I'm going to be assembling a squad of flamethrowers for him. When someone else is paying for it. That's true. So the way GW pre-orders work, the pre-orders don't start until Saturday. But what my local store said is they have until the end of day Tuesday to put in how many they're going to order. They have to order before Tuesday, before the pre-orders are technically open, to actually get a number, hopefully get a number that they're requesting. And if they don't put their order in, then they just get like the standard allocation, which could be, 5 copies of the game or whatever. So they've been putting messages out telling people like, hey, contact us if you want this set. Tell us before the end of day so we can get the order in and everything. Which I think is wild that GW does that. But yeah, I did get all my pre-orders in, so. Store does the same, yeah. The pre-order, yeah, that's what it is. That's it. These guys. Yeah, all right. Number 5. We're just trucking along. Why is working on single lawyer? It is, yeah, it is very relaxing. I think part of it is you feel like you're working a lot quicker as like a per mini basis, because if you're not batch painting, I think a lot of us batch paint our like squads and stuff, and it starts to feel like a chore when you're painting the same color on the same or similar mini, 10, 20 times in a row. But painting a character, you just paint that little color and you're done, and it gives you kind of that like motivation to do a little more, and you see the results quicker. And yeah, and you can take breaks and stuff, but like paint or wash or something's drying, and yeah, just a much more relaxed kind of idea.
Stay on target.
Yep. All right, 1 second, guys. I'll be back. Just a moment. Okay.
Stay on
Let's
target.
continue on. Yep, thank you. I'm trying to stay on target. I'm already freaking that kid. I was off a bit. It was fine. Painting Son has a friend over, so we'll hear it gets crazy in this house. I apologize. You hear children screaming. They're not being hurt. Hey Zen, are you hanging out in stream? Hey Darkest Sun, welcome in. Yeah. Are you wanting to chill this week, like Friday or something? Cool. That's right, you do have Prince to bring me. Alright. Sweet. Get his legs. Yeah, so Zendro bought a 3D printer, guys. So if you need things 3D printed, I think you just message him and he'll do it. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But it's pretty crazy. Like how quickly he got up and running with an FDM printer. Did you buy it? Did you buy it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember which day you got it. But he was just like, it was like Sunday. He's like, hey, I'm going to print you this. Like, here's the thing. And we're like, I was, like, okay. And we kind of like talked about the things. And then he just printed out a bunch of things by the end of the day. He's like, yeah, it's done. Saturday. Okay. But he printed me a bunch of movement trays. It's great. Can you print a Warhound Titan for me real quick? Thanks. Yeah, no problem. Oh, I have STL for a Warhound Titan. Yep, I do have a Warhound Titan. It's like the one. A guy used to post on Cults. He'd post it for like only 24 hours and then take it down for like a few months, so it was like a thing to look out for. And I got his Warhound Titan print. I was like, I might as well get it. Yeah, he's got them for all time. I'm sure they're all out there. Yeah. I got the Warhound. I got something else. Well, man, Zen, now is your time to do a Mechanicum army and to get the the big satellite dish gun. That big thing, the Olatar or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about? The G.I. Joe gun? Yeah. Just show up to a local, like, apocalypse game with that thing. New wet palette and brush turned up today. Once the kid is down tonight, be able to get back on painting. Nice. What kind of wet palette did you get? Anything special, or was it just like a cheap wet palette? Did you print anything else today, Zen? Have you done anything else with the printer, or are you just taking a break or figuring things out? Okay, interactive one. Okay, nice. It's a big wet palette. That's good. That's good. I have my Masterson's Stay Wet palette. It's a pretty big wet palette too, which is nice. I think though, having a smaller one has its advantages, since you're using the paper up fast. Now this is like if you're using like cheap parchment paper or whatever, but using the paper up faster, there's less time for it to sit and mold. And we don't want mold. It's definitely an issue with wet palettes if they sit around too much. So, oh yeah, you're printing all the. First fail today. Okay, okay. Well, that's too bad. You guys want to know what Zen told me before he bought his printer? For like months we talked about this. He was like, the only thing I ever see people printing on FDM is upgrades for their 3D printer. He's like, that's all there ever is. Like, that's what people use it for. He's like, it's so lame. And then he buys a 3D printer, and he's printing upgrades for his 3D printer. Paint your crotch plate. I painted yours. Did I paint your crotch plate? No. No, you guys need your crotch plates painted. No, files you can... Once you have the file, you just use them as much as you want. Yeah. And I don't even know if there's even like a... like any kind of subscription service that deals with files like Patreons and stuff. If you get them, you download them, and they're like they're yours for good. So if you join a Patreon to get files, you get the files, and then you leave the Patreon, the files are still yours. I don't even know if there's a mechanism to reclaim them, because it just goes straight onto your hard drive, you know. It is a very like maker friendly hobby. Really small compared to the new one. Yeah. Oh, the latches for the lid. Okay, that's nice. I have these things I bought. These little copper things, the little corner things. They hold the paper onto the sponge, and they're just like pure coppers. They're supposed to be antimicrobial. You know, maybe not, but They hold them down well. If you have, it's still about like, if you don't have enough water in your printer and the water dry, or in your palette and the water dries out, like it's not going to hold them. But I have had fewer issues with my paper like dog earring and curling up with the corner holders in there. Yeah, pennies are good too. Old pennies. Resin printer. It's proving more difficult than expected. Yeah, really. Yeah, after seeing the crazy stuff that Zen is printing, like immediately after buying his printer, I'm almost like a little regretful of having a resin printer, because, you know, my printer has all kinds of like fumes, and you know, like I print something and then I have to like clean it, and then it dries for the, you know, afternoon or whatever, and like this whole process with resin. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to do the stuff I do on my resin printer with an FDM. But FDM printers are they're super useful. Put a penny, yeah, keeps the mold away. Yep. Yeah, it's designed to be user-friendly. That's fair. That's fair. Dragon Mini. Someone to print for me. Oh, interesting. Okay.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your home.
Hey, Rick the Slick. Welcome in. How are you doing today? I would offer to print it for you, Wandering Picked, but the shipping would end up being at minimum like $25-$30, and I would be weary of a large resin printed mini surviving the shipment journey. I've shipped plenty of things overseas, but I also know there's no like gentle process. Yeah, there's definitely people in your area that should have one. 7. 3 more. Well, it's a lot cooler outside, but man, it's hot out. Hey, Hobby ADHD, welcome in. I saw Zorpazorp was using, he was sent a Bamboo Labs printer, one of their newer ones that has like laser engraving in it, and it's a printer, it's like dual nozzle and all these things. I was like, cool, how much is this one? It was like $2,000. I was like, yeah, every time. Every time one of these creators are showing off a new printer, it's always in the multiple thousands. Yeah, it's super expensive, yeah. Hey, no problem, Hobby ADHD. How's the family? Everyone is happy and healthy. Doing amazing. Awesome. Good. Good. Glad to hear. You been painting anything recently? Start blabbing more and more, yeah. It's awesome. This brush through its paces. So the 20-man squad, nice. And you're doing like Shattered Legion stuff, right? So you're doing the Salamanders, Iron Hands, Raven Guard kind of thing, like that specific Shattered Legion. I think Shattered Legion rules are going to be a thing that comes out in like a month or two. I think specifically as like a free PDF. So, man, I'm really impressed with how the company is handling this release. I'm sure there are going to be more things that I'm unhappy with when I see full rules, and you know there will be plenty of stuff I'm gonna be upset about. But there's a lot of things where they just seem more open and giving out specific things like for free that were locked in books in the past is really cool. Just all that kind of stuff. Hey Zen, look at this. Look what I got. All of these the base toppers. That's the base topper for the Saturnine Dread. But this is all the yep. All the base toppers for the 3.0 box. So Apocalypse at the end of August. Oh nice. Yeah, you gotta get painting then. Yep, I gotta sand these. That's the next step. sanding everything. But yeah, it was a cool base. I think there are 2 options for 100 mil bases from this set of files. So it's nice to have these printed ahead of time also, because when I assemble the minis, I can assemble them in relation to what their actual bases have on them. So like this one's a little weird for like a Terminator, but I can maybe get their feet up and everything and maybe get a correct position. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to do that. But yeah, got all the toppers. Okay, let's continue on this color. I think it will just be painting Votann this week. Maybe Thursday, if I'm like really behind on these finishing my rapier squadron, I'll try to finish it real quick on Thursday or something. But should be an actual full week of streaming. Oh, this guy has robotic legs. Okay. That's different. Send files to my 3D printer. It saves them locally to its SD card, and I can print them later. That's crazy. That's really cool. Is there an easy way to like clean out the files that you have on there? How big of an SD card is it? Just from the slicer. That's super cool. You know, I was wondering about that because you said it was you like print over Wi-Fi. But I was like, man, what happens? Like, it's a lot more likely for your Wi-Fi to cut out than just like the straight up power. Like, what happens if that happens? But if it's just saving it to the SD card and then it's, yeah, that's super cool. Well, that really like brings home how like simple like 3D printers are and have been as far as like machines go. Oh, 4 gig max. Okay. Yeah, so it's pretty small then. But yeah, and just like it shows like the room for improvement over the years. Like my printer's like, I don't know, 3 years old or something. And it wasn't like a new printer when I bought it. You know, it wasn't like a new design or anything. But it was a cheaper printer, and you know, it's a very simple thing. Obviously, it has a lot of technology in it because like the LCD screen and stuff, and the precision movements. But it just looks so simple. It has like a lot of simple features to it. Two kits, music box, 3D print a piano, box slides into. Collection of ball bearings. Oh, weird. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, he printed me movement trays for my 30k militia. Like, that was... He printed a whole bunch of those, and they're very simple. It's just super practical. And I was gonna look into buying some, but dude saved me a lot of money. I'm gonna be buying him filament here. He'll be printing me stuff. I just have to paint those. I think I'm just gonna spray them black and just keep them black. Spray them and varnish them. And that'll be it. Yes, terrain. We're going to fill battlefields worth of terrains in. It's going to happen. He says he's not going to... I mean, all the base rims are black on my bases anyway, so... So the trays being black is appropriate. There's like the space that connects them. That's, you know, it's like 1-inch gaps or whatever. And I could make them look like... Could put sandy stuff between them for my militia, or like make custom like base topper pieces. And put them in there, but ultimately, like, if it's going to be between multiple units or multiple different armies and stuff, then I might as well just keep it black. $18 for a 0.2 nozzle. That's crazy. The Zen saying he's not going to print Warhammer stuff. I know next week he's going to show up to my house or something with a Stormbird, like a Legion Stormbird, just fully printed and assembled or something. Gonna have the whole thing. Just the vehicle to carry all of his Night Lords in. Like one consistent. I mean, yeah, so I have a thing about, like, an opinion about basing in general, which is bases they're not really meant to blend into the landscape like the battlefield that you're playing on, unless you're making a specific army to go with a specific table, and like you want that like table or board to match your army, like that's fine. What ends up happening though is you can always tell the minis are on a base. There's always that separation, and the minis never look like they fully belong, like they're standing just on the battlefield. Like, you're always aware that they're on a base. So one of the things, like, I like how I base my minis, and I put a lot of effort into it and everything, and that's great, and like people do, and it's awesome, it looks great. But I think the goal of having your bases match the battlefield in every way, shape, and form and blend in, which is why I don't think like clear acrylic works for basing. I remember like people mess around with the idea of just clear acrylic bases, and I think it looks worse than just basing your mini how you want, because it still looks like the mini's on a base. It just has a weird clear effect. Yeah, but you never notice that. That's not something that like mini bases are mini bases. That's what it is. And there's a reason that the clear acrylic bases don't look as good as a based mini. It's like a weird uncanny valley thing. So, you paint your mini bases. You got your bases painted, and they look good and everything. Great. They're gonna look if they look good on one battlefield, they're gonna look good on every battlefield. It'll be fine. With that said, a big reason why I'm a fan of painting base rims black is because it separates the miniatures from the board. It is a very clear and distinct separation. And, again, if you're making a diorama or you have a specific board that your minis are going to be on and you want to match that exactly, paint the base rims however to be fine. Look good. You match the board. But I think black is the best because it gives that clear, distinct separation. So there's no like weird uncanny valley thing that happens or weird color match. Like black kind of works with any color of battlefield, and it shows like, hey, here's the battlefield, here are my minis. And with that said, and this is, I have painted movement trays for Warhammer Fantasy, which is a different beast. Like there's a lot less showing on top. But my theory, my educated guess at this point is that black will be best for the movement trays. Because again, it'll show the clear separation. And again, there's a lot more, plastic showing on top of these movement trays than something like Warhammer Fantasy movement trays where it's just the outer like rectangle. But it's not a lot, it's the space in between bases. But then you have the issue of I'm going to be using these with multiple armies that have different basing. So how do I reconcile having a base topper or movement trays with toppers that work for one army but not the other? Base feels more immersive, even though it doesn't match. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, weird. Okay. Does my voice sound similar to yours? They should only match the field for very specific narrative games. I kind of agree with you, Sir Starving Fish. Yeah. Played Last Line scenario with my Numenorians with cracked lava. Yeah, see, that's cool. And the cracked lava will work well with, whatever, because you put effort into the base and it looks good. And, you're fighting on an ice planet or a snowy planet or snowy battlefield and you have cracked lava. It's not taking away from the game at all. Like, your minis look great. They're, like, cohesive. You have an army and, like, they're clearly separate from the battlefield, right? Again, that's why I don't think the I don't think clear acrylic looks good as a base. In theory, clear acrylic bases should be perfect for all minis, right? You glue them to the clear acrylic, you put them on the battlefield, and they just work with the battlefield because the battlefield shows through. But I'm telling you guys, from experience, it does not look good. Yep, your Zinch Demon's on whipped cream. That's right. Yep. Yeah, you have your candy-themed basing for your army, which is amazing. All right. We have these guys. This is going to be a weird one. I am not quite sure. We can look up these minis and get an idea. Hold, I will just... There we go. Broke your Thunder Kitten. it up. Okay, all right, so that's a reasonable guide. We can. Excuse me. Let's put a little more down. Oh man. Almost done with this color though. We go. I think this whole like wristband thing is armored. Doors have been delivered. Oh man, congratulations. That's very exciting. No, it's not. Is it? Is it though? It's fair if it is. Oh man, we purchased a back door, like a sliding glass door years ago. Yeah. So we purchased a sliding glass door, and one of their things was they're like the screen door that comes with this has a lifetime warranty if you ever need the screen replaced. Lifetime warranty as long as you live in the house, and the next owners of the house have a 10-year warranty on the screen. Like, just call us if the screen's broken and we'll replace it. Awesome. Very cool. So we called them to replace our screen. It was starting to like wear down and like popping up, basically like coming out of the frame and stuff, the actual screen itself. So we call the company and we're like, hey, we just need our screen fixed. And they're like, okay. We're like, yeah, it's part of our warranty, right? It's like free lifetime screen repair or replacement or whatever. They're like, no, that's not part of it. We're like, excuse me? And they're like, no, that's not a thing. And we're like, yes, it is. This was like one of the big selling points of this was, hey, look, you can get this like fixed. anytime. And like I'm looking through like our old like warranty papers, and there was nothing in like a warranty about it. I'm like, did they seriously do this? So we go back and forth with them, and finally they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for free this time. We'll do it this time, but we're not gonna keep doing this. And we're like, okay. So whatever, they do it. We go to pick it up, and we go because we dropped it off at like their factory or whatever. We go to pick it up, and you know what they tell us? They give us our screen door. They're like, yeah, this screen door comes with a lifetime warranty. We'll replace it anytime. They're like, yeah, it's a new thing we're doing. We'll replace the screen anytime you need it. Lifetime warranty. And we're like, what is going on? Like, what do you mean this? Like, why didn't it have a lifetime warranty before when you told us? But yeah, they just tell everyone it's a lifetime warranty, and then like fight it when people try to get it replaced or something. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah. Just funny. We called them again. They're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. That's never happened before. And they replaced, and they're like, yeah, it's a lifetime warranty. Congratulations. Yeah, it was the life of this this housefly, this common housefly. Right. Well, it was the same person we talked to on the phone when we were trying to get the screen replaced, and she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, that lady's just gaslighting us. That's what's happening. It's every piece of paperwork. Yeah. Paid a lot of money for that glass door. I was very, very frustrated with that. Receipt possible. Nice. Their social security card. Oh, man. Base topper there. I'd be having that. She makes you get the information. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we save a lot of our paperwork, especially with like, purchases like that. Spending thousands of dollars on something. You save the warranty paperwork. It's just funny, like we looked through the warranty paperwork. We bought this door 14, 15 years ago. Look at the paperwork and can't find the actual warranty that talked about the lifetime warranty on the screen door. It's also a local company with a very good reputation too, so it was I was caught off guard when they're just like, no, We don't do that. What are you talking about? I think that's it for the back to work lurk. All right. Enjoy your work lurk. Get this guy stuck on this base a little better. You know, Blue, I'm gonna do some backseat gaming here. Your Balatro game. I haven't played Balatro in a while, but I was watching and listening in on you playing. One moment, Joe and Bo Buckhead hopped out of that delivery truck and greased you a frozen trucker Cassie. Oh man, I think you're sleeping on a really strong card. And a card you should have picked, that the ace run that you had, that was really good. You got really far in that, and you didn't get any good like multiplier cards. You completely skipped over ride the bus. You had to ride the bus early when you already decided you're doing the ace run. And I think if you would have stuck with ride the bus, you would have done really well. It's so good. Ride the bus is like one of the best, especially when you're doing like a non-face run, right? Because it's just an extra multiplier every time. It's one of my favorite cards. Because you can manipulate it too, right? Like you just play little like nothing hands. You use all your hands every time. And then you get in, so you'll get like 3 or 4 extra multiplier every blind. Yeah. Yeah, that was a solid run though. I was cheering for you. Ace is fun. I have never done a like 5 of a kind focused run in that game. I'm a scrub and I just go for high card. You know, I'll start out with something else, but if I can get like DNA, ride the bus, give me some steel cards, and I'm more than happy to. And what is it? The hanging chat or whatever, and I'll just do high card. Flush 5s, yeah. Right, yeah. I think I focus a lot also on like getting as far as I can, not necessarily just like winning the 8 antes. Yeah, the hanging chat, I know. How many people know what a hanging chat is? It's in chat. Where the actual term came from. Yeah. It's in the news for weeks. Stone tablets, yeah, you were there for that election, yeah. Ugh. It turns out running for president when your brother is the governor of the biggest swing state that had the closest, election works out well for you.
Stay on target.
Thank you. My space is being overtaken by little dwarves. That's fair. That's fair, Cultured American. I normally don't expect people to actually sit here and watch. Normally people are just listening in, but I get it. The camera. Oh no. Oh, that's no problem. No problem, Hardy HD. Same things I always do. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay. I'm back. We were doing these little bits. The foot pieces. Shin armor. I told you guys how much I despise these minis. This mini is the ultimate, like, GW hates painters kind of mini. Curious. Some big things about this mini is the layers and layers that you have to work under to reach pieces. Like, look how this mini's set up. Like, there is like cloth underneath, metal underneath, like paneling. Yeah, it's just, and not to mention, like, the assembly is really bad for these. So like the connection points on these guns are like the tiniest little fragment of plastic. And if you've assembled them, like, you know what these are. But like these ones, all the weird layers of, like, it's so hard to paint over or under anything. And I don't think you can paint, like, you can paint these in sub-assembly, but you're basically just painting the mini on the sprue at that point before putting it together if you're going to try to sub-assemble this mini. Because it's not like you can just take the leg off, because you basically assemble the dude and then you just start putting everything around him at various stages. So this is not a painter friendly mini. Yep. the Votann in general don't seem to be very like painter friendly, and I don't know if that's like a newer like design choice or just what, but there's a lot I feel like they could have done to help these. Yeah, there was a lot of Votann minis that are in a similar situation. Like even the like the Sagittar and the Hecaton, like the layered panel look and like all these like layers going further and further down into the mini like this. It's yeah, it's just difficult to paint. Hey, Sectorus and John Lockridge, welcome. You pre-ordered it? You blame me? Why are you blaming me? Hey, if you're not going to paint it or if you're having trouble, man, just send it on over this way. That's right. Got it for a price you couldn't refuse. Okay. Well, that's nice then. Busted several times just dry brushing them. Yeah, the Thalax. I haven't assembled any of the new Mechanica minis, but I have heard that they are a big pain to assemble. I'm not sure about the painting, but please tell the weather. We need some more extended clear weather so I can get some roof spill. Really, we've had really good weather up here. At least where I am. They do look cool. The Thalax are great minis. If that's what you're talking about. Wondering picked. The Mechanica minis are just great overall. Great look. Yeah, the Mechanicum in general, yeah. So guys, we're going to be doing, I will be doing a giveaway for July. And the mini I'm going to give away, I have it planned, I don't have the mini yet. But the mini, I think it's going to be a 2-day paint. I don't think I can paint this mini in 1 day. So it might be a 2-day painting giveaway, but I think I might have just a time slot for it. So it could be very doable. 12-hour paint stream. Oh no, I'm confident I can paint it in 12 hours, but yeah, I don't want to stream for 12 hours. So we got 2.5 weeks until Heresy stuff. My plan with the my store. No. You can be entered in. Misfit. That's fine. Mechanicum had nicer looking tanks. Oh man, I love the look of the Mechanicum tanks. They're wacky and weird, but I really do love the look of them. They're so different. I understand if you don't like them though. It is like a whole their whole like style is like its own thing. It's very unique. Dueling paint streams? No, I don't stream when Blue does. I don't want to compete with him. Unless we stream together. Unless we do like a co-stream. So I mean that might be a thing. I was thinking when Saturnine comes out, it'll be out on July 26th. I will not stream Saturday because I don't usually stream Saturdays, but I will be driving back. I'll be on the road all day, driving. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get home, and then I'm going to drive to my LGS, and I'm going to buy my box set, and I'm going to come home and probably just stare at it the rest of the night. The Sunday, I should be streaming that evening. And I'm going to start on this box set. And then I'm going to try to stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I might stream a bunch extra because I just want to paint these minis. I just want to get them going. So I'm going to try to do that. That week, though, I won't be streaming Thursday. I'm going to have to take a break from streaming for a short time. I got stuff already planned that's going on. That's going to stop me from streaming. But I'm going to try to stream a whole bunch painting this set. And not that I'm necessarily wanting or needing to paint it super fast. But I want to stream and I want to paint this stuff on stream. And I want to get it painted and you know, play games with this stuff and do all that. So I'm going to be planning on jumping in, answering questions. I don't know. If you guys want to do some Man Reads Book streams about rules and things like that, we can do that. But that is what I'm planning on doing. It's just gonna be quite a bit of stream time for that. So if Blue does want to hang out and paint and stream together, I could maybe pull a Monday night or something and stream with you. We don't have to race. I know I don't do competitions with my painting. Back chair, a glass of whiskey, and read to us the rule book. Yeah. I'll do story time. Give me a cup of tea or something instead, but yeah, I'll do some story time. Okay. I am going to take a quick break, guys. I'll be back in like 5 or less minutes. And, yeah, we'll continue on painting this bone color. We only have a couple more minutes to do this with. Alright, we're back. So, next mini. Or bone. I'm probably missing this elbow piece on everybody. Let's see. No, I got it on you. Got it on you. Okay, maybe I was getting it. Just this one. Just this one's missed. One thing I do like about the Votann lore is how they treat AI. Like the AI, they just kind of coexist with it. And it's just like another member of society, basically, which is cool. I think that's a really neat approach. Definitely a lot different than a lot of the other like 40k factions, but well, their leader is an AI, but when you have like this is a robot right here, and they dress like the rest of the Votann, and they You know, they work with them and everything, and they're just part of the organizations. Just like the rest of the Votann are. But yeah, there is an AI that's their leader. It's like the what you call them, the STC constructs or whatever. But yeah, just more people. It's an interesting approach of like, yeah, we have AI. It's a part of life, but it just kind of coexists as an equal, you know, among everybody else. Mechanicum does it better. Big leg plate. Oh, the robots are actually cyborgs? So no reason, they're just functioning robots, yeah. Just lobotomized people. I was reading, I think it was an excerpt from one of the old Heresy Black books, and it was one of the introduction stories to the Solar Auxilia when they were first like coming up with the idea and everything. And it was a great story. It was about the Solar Aux landing on a planet and basically being part of this planetary invasion of a like dark mechanicum like Forge world. It was really cool. It's great, great story. It was a really fun read. I think the excerpt I had like cut off like halfway through the story, which is unfortunate, but I'll have to figure out where it is. But they're fighting against Mechanicum, and it was cool to see the difference in fighting styles between the two, and how the Mechanicum are like, yeah, they just have robots that are just unfazed by the attacks, and they're all super tough, and like the what's up, Spill Paint Pod, and the laser rifles don't do anything from the Solar Aux until they like overcharge them, or they like remove the regulators and use the like blast chargers or whatever. And it talks about just like start wrecking the Mechanicum at that point. But yeah, it's really interesting story. I had fun reading that. You don't get to read about the Solar Auxilia in like lore too much. That was cool. They basically just land on the planet, they take a position, and they just start digging trenches and putting up fortifications. And that's how they do warfare. And I think I read that story. I'm like, man, I need to get another squad of las rifles. Superheroing? Kind of what you need to do. Yeah. They like melt their the magazines they feed into their guns to overcharge them, which is cool. So there's a Games Workshop preview show happening next Friday. What do you guys think they're going to be showing off? I know they hinted at a bunch of stuff. I think the one big thing that everybody kind of understands is coming is Chaos Dwarves to Age of Sigmar. The Imperium essentially are the Skaven. Yeah, it's true. That's true. There used to be Skaven in 40k. They were called the Hrud. And then GW like retconned their whole lore to being something different. New Doors was 40k in AOS. Yeah, probably Votann. I'm guessing they'll do Dark Eldar or Drukhari and Votann teases. Marine Codex 2.0 for 40k. Get a second 10th edition Codex. You think they're going to do Legion specific plastics? I think that'll be a thing next year. I would love to see it. I'm going to be more than happy if they do start putting them out, but I am not thinking. I think they'll preview the next Journal Tactica for Heresy, and I think it'll probably be Istvan Part 2. With like a bunch of, because they already talked about like Legion specific Saturnine Terminators and other stuff like that, but Legion specific plastics are coming, Misfit. Don't get me all hot and bothered about it yet. All right, I'm thinking next year Legion specific plastics. Yeah, they put on like 16 different hats. People are like breaking down all the hats and everything. No, Grey Knight. No, Grey Knight's never getting an update. Isfan 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. Yeah. Oh man, you want new ogres? Yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to be a lot of AOS stuff, so I'll be tuning out with that. But I do want to see the new Chaos Dwarves. I hope they're usable in the old world. Good substitutes like the undead are. Well, the death rattle things, the soul blight stuff. Part 2, The Search for More Money. Yeah, I don't mind, man. I like the idea of the journals, so I'm buying the first journal when it comes out. It's part of my pre-order, and I am cool to buy some of these cool little journals. It's a lot easier of a purchase decision than big campaign books, and if they're coming out frequently, I'm going to be really happy about that. So Rabo Undivided, where he gets a giant Fulgrim type kit. Oh yeah, his like late Heresy look. That'd be cool. Hey Silver, how you doing? Welcome in. Open it on YouTube. Welcome. Yeah, which is sad. A 48-page journal is apparently more lore than a 40k codex. But there are more items than Saturnine, like Blood Angels type stuff in Heresy. Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean there's more like Blood Angels stuff? Dominion Seraphim. Okay. Dark Mech is going to happen for Heresy, and that's actually one that could happen, Cultured American. That could happen this year. Interesting. Okay. I am curious. I'm curious to see what you mean by that, Sector, because I'm not quite following what you're saying. GW did say last year with the old, like, it was their, their, like, roadmap. Their, like, crappy roadmaps they put out at the end of last year for 2025. They said that there was a new faction coming to Heresy. I think everyone just assumed as Dark Mechanicum because they had just come out in Imperialis at that time. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that could be something that gets teased, though. You never know. I hope Dark Mechanicum comes out. But I also hope that there's still, there's plenty more to release for all the other factions. And I hope that they're able to still kind of keep the focus on the other factions getting that stuff. Because they talked about switching, continue to switch from resin to plastic with everything. And I hope there's more of that focus as well. But no, I'd be super excited for Mechanicum players, those dark mech stuff. Those big spider walkers, they're like the size of a knight. It's crazy. Sick of teases, yeah. More of a road crap, yeah. Those were the worst road maps I think I've seen from GW. But they have somewhat redeemed themselves with what they put out. Was that last week, right? Well, they talked about the digital stuff for Heresy, so oh man. We got this guy, and then we have we have this guy, and then we have the two wizards. And I'm not even sure if we're getting a lot on these wizards. I don't think there's just a little bit of bone on them. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think part of that, Raja, is it used to not be like this with GW. I talked about this before, and it's crazy, but like they have the company is huge, right? It is growing at a crazy fast rate. They have tons of different games. So they're at the point to where they have a huge release every week, and they can do the FOMO stuff because people buy it. Like, people buy the stuff faster than they can make it, so they're taking advantage. I don't like the FOMO stuff either. Games Workshop 15 years ago, 20 years ago, was not like this. It was wild, the release schedule. So, they would put out a White Dwarf every month. And that White Dwarf, would have that month's releases. And so it would be every month they would have stuff released, but sometimes it was almost nothing. They would put out a new codex or army book. They would alternate between Warhammer Fantasy 40K and Lord of the Rings. And it would be maybe every other month or every 3 months they would have something new for one of the games come out. So for like 40K, let's take 40K for example, you would get 3 or maybe even 2 new codexes in a year. Yeah, I will say the teasers are better than what GW did like 10 years ago, where they were so tight-lipped on everything and they would tell you the week before it went for pre-order, and that's the first you would hear of something. So you kind of have to pick your poison of, do I want to hear about the stuff a month or 2 before it comes out, or 3 or 4 months before it comes out, or do I just not want to have any idea and hear about it the week before it goes up for pre-order? It's like the eternal debate between people on how they prefer to, again, I think generally people are more excited when they know what's coming. than being in the dark and then GW says, hey, look, this is up for pre-order next week. Look at this whole new army that we have coming. Yeah. So, to me, I'd rather have the teases than not. You know, you're not obviously not going to get everything you want, but yeah, GW has run the gambit of all these different like styles of doing things. Thank you. And yeah, I think in general people appreciate the weird streams where they show off things months in advance, and you know, getting articles that show off new minis and stuff like that. Like that's stuff I think people prefer to the alternative. Yeah. Oh no, don't don't even get me started on the Lord of the Rings things, where they announced minis they didn't come out for. I think there's still Lord of the Rings minis they announced back in November that still aren't out. Yeah, I think the idea, Sir Storming Fish is right. The idea before was GW's thought process, I think, was we don't want to announce stuff early because then people plan their purchases, and when people plan their purchases, they're not buying for a while. They're saving their money to buy the things, and they still not release. Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't release them, did they? Yeah, he just got cut out of the book. So they had this whole theory of we just announce it the week before it goes on pre-order, and then everybody buys it and no one's saving their money. They bought their last army, now they're going to buy the next one because everybody spends all their money on us all the time. And them being a little more community focused and giving the previews, I think, was the better alternative to that abomination of a opinion about customers. Orion Prelude, survival shooter against dinosaurs, 99 cents on Steam. Oh, weird. Okay. Send me a link. Send me a link in Discord, and I'll check it out. Yeah, it was crazy when we were getting one codex every 4 months or so. Like, they made a huge deal, and sometimes, like, armies, if they got a revamp, it would be like 2 months of just releases for that army. So you get like 2 whole White Dwarf, like, issues kind of dedicated to this army, like their first and second wave, and it was like a really big deal when an army got its new book. And now it's like an afterthought. Okay, well, I'll check out. Hey, that's fine. Tired. Ninjal's always sending me games that he thinks I'll like. It's funny that you tell me about this game, you're like, I don't think you'd like it. I end up playing that game for dozens of hours or something. I don't know. I'm curious, though. I'll take a look. Okay, I need more bone. Shooter. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I'm normally not the biggest fan of shooters. Oh wow, yeah, yeah. Getting any amount of time like that out of a cheap game is great. I think after this color, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I don't want to end stream yet. So, we're going to change it up for my sanity's sake. I got all the things I need on this guy. I think I do. Look at these Grimnir, and there's just like a little backpack piece. And maybe on their wrists. Yeah, yeah. Is it a Bolitro run? Easiest one I've ever got. Oh, yeah. Combo, deck fixing, door kings, queens. Wow, okay. Dang. Nice. $2 billion points. That's not bad. Not bad at all. That's cool. Well done. I have to be super careful on a lot of this yet because we're in a more than I forgot. Yeah. Always proud of the amount of time put into this adventure. Yeah. You know it's fine though. have that all painted. That is that color. I played one with the gym on the treadmill. That's solid. Yeah. I've seen Slay the Spire painted or played, but I've never played Slay the Spire. Okay, so let's put these guys back in their respective holders here for a minute, or for the afternoon. Let's clear the desk a little bit. Okay. And I am going to work on highlights on the last hour here. I'm going to work on the highlights on my Thousand Suns. Let's get them out. We're going to do white. I'm going to suffer through and highlight the white. Okay. I'm happy I got that color down the Votann. Good start. I just got to break it up some. Have to be done by Sunday. Something I learned though is the actual guns themselves don't need bases. At least in 2.0 they don't need bases. I don't know if 3.0 tells you the base size of the minis, but 2.0 there's no standard base sizes for them. So I don't need to worry about bases, which is nice. But I can quickly put them on bases. I actually printed base toppers for them. I went ahead and put my Middle Earth siege engines on bases. Do they have base sizes now? Is that... I think it's too bad. Only siege engine I have is the Khazad-dûm Ballista. And I had put that on a base when I got it. because it was just easier to stand. Slay the Spire is quite involved. Yeah, so I've seen, yeah. Well, all models have bases. Okay. Yeah, I imagine Heresy will probably go that way too. What I really liked about the new Old World edition was that they tell you in the unit profile the size of base it goes on. Like every model. They just have a base size included. Some of the base sizes they include are wonky and don't make any sense to me, but it was nice that they put them in. I think the most egregious example I can think of is the Vampire Counts. The Black Coach being on a 50 by 100 millimeter base, when the actual Black Coach Mini is too big for the largest base in the game, the 100 by 150 base, and they're wanting to put on a base a third that size. It's pretty crazy. I was going to buy a Black Coach, but there's no way of modeling that nice plastic one to fit on a 50 by 100 mil. Yeah, like base overhang is such an understatement with that Mini though. Like it is wildly over the top. I have seen people, because I think it comes with 4 horses, like 4 like ghost horses that transport it or whatever, that pull it, and they're all kind of like flying and everything. So you can just glue like 2 of them. What I've seen a lot of people do is they put it on a 100 by 150 base, and then they cut off 2 of the horses. So it just has 2 horses pulling it. And that way there is like an actual, like, somewhat plausible way you can play a game with that Mini. Okay, over there. Oh, that's a solid, yeah, that's a solid hand. Okay, now the time-consuming weapons here, these laser destroyers. After this layer of white, we just do pure white and we do an edge highlight. And that's it. Or if this isn't in frame as much, it's kind of hard to sing in frame. Okay. I think we got highlight on that weapon. Let's get this last one here. I like these guns. I want more of these guns. So maybe eventually I will get more of these guns. Painting Thousand Suns. You have nerve damage? Oh no, yeah. Take it easy. Take it easy, heal up a little bit. It's not a bad idea. Meetings, other project is AdMech. Yeah, it's no better. Yeah, that's fair. And do what you can. Just paint base colors or just do, yeah, something simple, I guess. Okay. Some pure white. I'm gonna drink of water. Oh, man. All right. Pure white. Painting Sun is currently punching a punching bag with his friend. Being nice and loud. Good stuff. Alright there, Scrooge. No fun allowed in this house. What's up, Judge Dave? How you doing? Alright, other side. Getting older when you sleep in the wrong position dislocates something. Yeah, it's miserable. No, I understand that all too well, Wandering Picked. Or you sneeze and pull a muscle in your neck, and you're like down for a week. Or if you sleep in a bed that's not your own. It just like destroys everything in your body. Next bit of white, the next one. I think we'll finish this white highlight and then we'll probably call it for the day. I'd like to go all the way to 3, but I can't. I got too much going on this afternoon, evening, so I'll be ready. We are doing Patreon Hangout on Wednesday, so you guys are willing and able to come hang out. Any paid member of the Patreon, you get a link. You just link your Discord to your Patreon account. You can get in. We just hang out in a Discord chat on Wednesday nights and chat and hobby together and whatever. So that's what we do. Yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Yeah. At least that's the plan, is to stream tomorrow. I'll be continuing with the Votann tomorrow. So, I don't know, we might do something similar to what we did today, is where I do one big color, and when I'm kind of tired and worn out of the Votann, I move on to something else that's a little more like something else I want to paint kind of thing. You're a 5th edition game? Oh, cool. Very cool. How'd it go? What were you playing? What'd you play against? Alright. Highlight on there. You had crappy dice rolls? Oh, that's too bad. CSM versus Guard, alright. I want to play Guard in 5th edition. 5th edition 40k. Guard had probably the coolest codex in 5th. Oh, you won on points? Okay. Sons of Wars versus Smurfs. Nice. I'll be playing a game this coming Sunday. Yeah, I already have my stuff pre-ordered through my LGS. Got everything I needed ready. I actually ordered through 2 different stores. I called the first one Sunday afternoon, right when the preview article went up. And the guy told me, it's like, yeah, I just want to pre-order this box. And he's like, well, there's a lot of people called already this morning. I don't know if we'll be able to get you one. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I was like, the article was just posted like 10 minutes ago. It's like, this feels like cheating where people were calling before the article was even up. But called them, and then I called another store, and they weren't taking any names for anything until Monday. So I called back Monday morning, and then after some back and forth, I got it in. Yeah, it's a little bit of a nerve-wracking. I told him fine, get stuff. No, it's fine. I like the store. It's just people calling in all morning. You know, it's big release. Only want the rules? Yeah. I want the box set. I like the stuff that's in the box, so. The Terminators are the least interesting thing to me out of that whole box, but everything else is pretty cool. At least pretty cool. You know, the Mark II Marines look great, so. White on those, very nice. This done. We just have the las cannons after this. Eight items left to paint for a 6K game. Wow, that's quick. What are the 8 items? Are they big things or just little things? You're like, yeah, it's 8 Titans, then I'd be like, oh, okay, you got your work cut out. But if it's like, you know, a squad of 8 Terminators or something, that's not that big of a deal. Should be doable. Four guys, 2 Reaper batteries, and 2 Rhinos, 2 battery platforms. Okay, nice. Are you magnetizing your rapiers, or just putting them together and going with it? Those are highlighted. Now for the las cannons or laser destroyers, whatever they are. I'm excited to take these things in a game. eBay? Glue with horrible glue. Okay, okay. Probably resin ones anyway, right? Not really the ones you would be looking to magnetize in the first place. I'm not sure how compatible the different resin ones are with each other. Anti-16. Wow, that is a wild hand. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Need a cigarette after that. Tell Mayhem that, see what she says. that's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, I remember you talking about you guys were both playing it. It's looking good. Yeah, I'm still messing around with Bloons Tower Defense 6. It's been my game for the moment. They put out new towers for that game. Unlocking those and trying them out. I don't really particularly like them, but I like the simpler towers, simpler monkeys in that game. Yeah, we do have to pick a night for Songs of Conquest. I mean, you just want to hang out and play like Thursday night or something. If you have the time available, I think Thursday would be good for me. Definitely pencil it in. Okay. I think we got that one finished, so let's get our last one, and then we are done highlighting white on these minis. Not good enough for... Well, I don't know. I don't know if my wife has something planned or not, so... the wife aggro. Ooh, so all of Zen's prints are in the 3D printing channel in Discord if you guys want to see what he's been printing. Mistakes, that's okay. Yeah, Zen got his own printer. He got an FDM printer. He texted me Friday, he's like, I think I'm gonna get a printer soon. And then Saturday, he's like, I'm gonna go get a printer today. And then Sunday afternoon, he's like, look at all this stuff I printed for you. That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's almost exactly how the conversation went. Okay. Front end's done. Let's do this back casing. Man, I did white weapon casing, which is just so dumb. Looks good though. Use maybe half a roll. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. I'll definitely be buying you filament. I didn't know Micro Center had a brand. That's cool. Yeah, Reginald. Apparently, it's a very user-friendly printer. Yeah, he was just texting me. He's like, "Yeah, I brought it home." He's like, "I'm calibrating it now," and then he sent me a picture of his first print. And then he printed little Bodhi, and he's like, "Yeah, Bodhi printed in 20 minutes." It's crazy. Or is it Benchy or Bodhi? Is it Benchy? Okay. My bad. My bad. Don't mean to insult his name. Actually, yeah. Yeah, because he's a benchmark. Okay, that makes sense. But he's also a boat. I just couldn't remember. It was something with a Y on the end. I had to build a program of my own. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, Sectrix. Bodhi is in the shape of a bench. See, that's incredible. Yep. That's why this hobby's great. Isn't Bodhi the guy from Jaws? Maybe? Can't think of the last time I actually watched Jaws. Bodhi is also the pilot in Rogue One. Rhodey? No, Rhodey is... Wait. Yeah, exactly, cultured American. I know what you were thinking. You heard Bodhi and you're like, oh yeah, the pilot from Rogue One. The greatest Star Wars movie. Yeah, he's got the goggles the whole movie. Yep, that guy. Sarcastically calls him a pivotal character, and knowing that he actually is a pivotal character. So, just because he doesn't wield a lightsaber, he apparently is less important. Alright. Well, I think Rhodey by Tenacious D. I don't remember that song by Tenacious D. I might have to go listen to it. Yep. Yeah, Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. I think it is the best of them. But we got this white finished, and I'm going to call it there right at 2:32, which is great. Yeah, Andor's, well, I mean, Andor has a lot more time to cook too, right? Like, when you have 2 seasons of an excellent TV show by the same guy that wrote the movie, like, you can really work with all that time. But yeah, Andor's a fantastic series, though. But yeah, guys, I will be back on tomorrow. We're going to continue on with the Votann, and then maybe some more work on these guys. But I'm happy I got the white highlighted. That's nice. Nice little white casings and everything. Good stuff. So, yeah, we're going to call it there. And I'll be back on tomorrow about 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And, yeah. No less more important than Cherut, Jern, Snarky Jin, Snarky Robot, K2SO, Baze, Cassian, yeah, you know, the whole crew. I know. Yep. Except culture's wrong. We all know. It's okay though. It's okay to be wrong about things. We still love you, cultured American. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you all tomorrow. And yeah, we'll be back painting. Bye, everybody.